Welcome back to Growth Mafia, and this is episode number 3. Today, we're going to do something a little bit different that we've done in the past. Today, we're stepping back to talk about what we actually learned with the 2 AI products that we built, the Fill My Chair and the 10X Salon Revenue Coach. With almost no budget, and we have a full-time job, we have families, we have real life happening in the background. This episode is all about behind the scenes stuff, things on how we manage our time, how we manage our energy, how we stayed consistent, or did we? And the things that, Gideon and I has gone through while we are working on the project. As you all know, both Gideon and I, we have 9 to 5 jobs and we're launching this podcast, this show, and we're also launching 10X Salon. And inside 10X Salon, we have Fill My Chair and Revenue Coach. And there's just so many, things that are going on. So we're not pretending to be productivity gurus. In fact, you're probably going to find an opposite of that. But we're here today in episode 3, and we're literally going to tell you in real time how somehow we manage to balance work, clients, kids, cooking, school, and building a business on the side. So we're here to share it, lessons, mistakes, and perhaps like maybe Gideon has a system or I have a system that can help you who are, helping us or working, following us in this journey. So if you're trying to build something on the side and you're trying to build a business, or you're looking at Growth Mafia, the TV, the show, as a way for you to kind of unlock things in your life, you came to the right place, you unlock it with us. All right. So let's jump into what we've learned so far. So Gideon, I'd like you to answer this. What surprised you the most building the 2 AI projects at the same time?
Yeah, that's a really good question. What surprised me the most is that I think I mentioned it in the first episode or so, that I thought that I would be really involved with coding and stuff. And when I started using Replit, it was like doing like 90% to 95% of the work. And I was surprised with that. And when I give it the first prompt, it immediately builds something that's working. And I didn't have to in- fix anything. And yeah, that's one. And then,
Sorry, I have a follow-up question for that because this is
okay,
actually close home to you, right? Because you are actually writing goals. You're actually in fact, you probably either tried to build or you has already built something of a similar scale with it, or maybe even bigger scale than this one, right? So what was your like impression in terms of like how do you feel about it in terms of as a programmer? Did it make you feel like, I don't know, like do you feel threatened somehow, or I don't know, what's your outlook? Sorry, I don't know the word, but like yeah, maybe.
yeah, yeah. I believe many of you have seen like articles, right, that software engineers are will be replaced by AI. And I think earlier on with my current employer, so we were like kind of forced to use AI, and it made me realize that it's if you like stick to the traditional like software engineering job and like day-to-day tasks and not adapt to AI, then probably you'll be replaced. But it made me realize that, okay, I need to master using AI. Like, how can I leverage it to like, speed up development, and where like before, every time you have a problem, you always Google and read articles on Stack Overflow and whatnot. So yeah, I kind of like maybe realize that, oh, it's not a threat to me. In fact, it can make my life as a software engineer like less stressful, I should say.
Right.
And it's also saves me time, so I can focus on the really building value for the product that I'm working and not get stuck on technical details.
All right, that's
So
it's really
I don't know,
good
how about you, Joe?
point. I guess one thing I can add there is yes, I would say the AI did 90 plus percent, maybe very, very close to 100% of the actual like development work. But I would say while I was building it, I did 100% of the like conceptualization and thinking, right? I mean, I always say that if you don't know what you want, it's very, very hard to lead the AI, like the artificial intelligence, because it's essentially you're trying to make it do something that would output what you want to see, like a
Mhm.
solution you really want to give birth to, right? yes, it is the AI that wrote the code and everything, but the mind behind it, I would say a lot. I would say, but it is a collaboration, but the initial like
Yeah.
spark is 100%.
Yeah, the idea, right? The idea and the problem that you're trying to solve and what you call this, the planning and that's involved. So as long as you got that right, AI is just like the one who will implement that
Yeah.
that that
I
solution.
would say I'm surprised though that, sometimes AI would provide like this little change to the idea, and like it was better than what I originally thought. And I would say like, you know what? Let's go with that. I like that idea. The good thing about this is that while you're building your software, there are so many things that you realize because now you don't have to think as like just in the engineering side. You're also trying to put yourself in the customer side and ask yourself, if I'm the customer, how would I feel about this? And because the building is much faster than before, right? You can actually see the changes within minutes. So very fast, I would say, feedback. I'm really even excited,
Yeah.
Gideon, once we have real customer using this and we'll have them on the phone and they'll give us like feedback, say, hey, can we like I'd like to change it. And then we can just fork a version for them, right?
Hmm.
And let them like, hey, okay, here's the changed version and what do you think? And so there's just so many things that we want to do with this. Okay, here's the next question. If you look back to episode 1 to today, episode 3, what has changed and how you think about this project?
Yeah. Looking back, I'm thinking about you're asking about the Fill My Chair project, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, because that's what we did.
or just the overall clinic salon because you remember when we started, we didn't really focus on fill my chair. We
Hmm.
actually focus on the 10x. Like how do we? I don't know. I don't know if my memory served me right there, but how do we actually like help change the revenue game, right?
Yeah, yeah. I think we started with the 10x salon with just, let's build something that we'll build a
So you know
website
what?
for
We actually have a
stylists, right?
different. I'll just tell you what the
Yeah.
different idea is. When we started, it was not fill my chair. It was 10x salon.
Mm-hmm.
What we want to do is to build a custom website for stylist and
Hairstylist.
yeah, there you
Yeah.
go. And so here's the behind the scene, guys. And I'm sorry, Git, for cutting you off, and then you can proceed.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
So we pitched that to Gideon. Gideon said, "That's cool, let's do it." And then after building the first few templates, like I don't know if it was just me, but both of us like kind of like stepped back. Like we were
Mm-hmm.
radio silence for almost a month, right? Or I don't know.
Yes.
It's a long time, or maybe more than that. So just the idea, and I don't know, Gid, what was your thought with that? Because for me, it was a really good idea, but I just didn't feel like having that go signal. I'm like, this is not it. And the reason why I felt like
Yeah,
it
yeah.
was is because there was nothing new to it. It was nothing
Mm-hmm.
providing a fresh solution to a problem. It is providing a cheaper and faster solution for in terms of implementation on our end, but in terms of
Mm-hmm.
additional, like how do we compete with other what do you call that? Like tech builders, right? How do we compete with that?
Mm-hmm.
So I think there was just no business additional business value. That's why I stepped back
Yeah,
for it.
yeah. Yeah, for me at the time, I was like just excited to use AI and to build things. And then, yeah, we had that silence for a few weeks because once we had that page and stuff and website, and you kind of realized, oh, we're not, there's no, there's not much product differentiation, right? And we're not sure what kind of problem we're really trying to solve. It's more of like just having something that's cheaper. So it's like we kind of lose excitement at that point when we realized that. And then you had that that idea. Okay, how about we solve this problem about filling a stylist chair, like their booking cancellation issues, right? And then that's when I think, did you created a page right away, right, for that
Yep.
calculator,
Yeah.
and that's when
I
kind of
created.
we kind of went ahead with that idea and built it, and then another idea came. Okay.
Yeah. Here's one thing though. when I started building the page and you started building the actual product, right? I had that feeling. Yes, we were fast in putting the product out there, right? But it was
Mm-hmm.
kind of there was level of difficulty because there's just so many running. There's so many things that are going on at the same time. Do you feel that way? Like we were done and then we're like, oh yeah, we need a subscription, and then we built the subscription, and then we're like, oh, we need onboarding, and then we started the onboarding.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, we need to connect this to the website. So a lot of those things are happening behind the scene. And then when we presented it in episode one, it was like, oh, here it is, and here's the other one. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that was quite interesting for me. How about you,
Yep.
Git?
Yep. I think we came to a point that okay, we already have something that we can actually ship. That somehow we kind of yeah. There's the succeeding question to probably answer it.
Yeah. Okay.
We kind of hit a point where it kind of slowed down.
Yeah, because the next question is, did we underestimate it? Whatever did Fill My Chair and Revenue Mentor, did we underestimate it at the very beginning? What would be your thought on that?
Yeah, I think for me personally, I underestimate it's not the technical challenges, but it's more of like the managing my time and energy. It's for me the energy because, I have like a 9 to 5 work, and by the time I wanted to do it, I have the time at night, but sometimes you're just like you don't have energy left. So I kind of like finding that flow. Once I get that high, okay, then I can work on it. Yeah,
Right.
but
It's a quite interesting
thanks
thing.
to AI, we still made progress because it's now quick. But
Absolutely.
I think, yeah, that's the next question.
So it's really a battle now, not just you versus the technical complexity of it. It's really you and you're managing, the rest of your life, right?
Mhm,
Because how I can totally relate to that. Like, coming home from work, you come here and then, you prepare if you're preparing something for lunch or for dinner, or like, sometimes you need to decompress.
mhm,
That feeling of like, just laying on the couch and I'm like, let's just stress out, right?
mhm,
And then, here you go. Like you were thinking, oh my goodness, like I still have things to deliver because we have like episodes to build and things like that, right? So yeah, I totally
mhm,
get that. And you need to have like a rhythm, like a flow,
mhm.
right? Like so that your body will
Yes,
understand that, like, hey, once I'm done with this, I have to restart my energy, and then you bring your A game to build another thing. So
yes, yes.
yeah, that
And
was that.
that's why on our last call, when we were going over that other project, right? And then since I had that energy, after this call, I will go over the thing so that I'll take advantage of my energy level at that time. Because otherwise, if I wait, okay, I'll do it tomorrow after work. Then who knows? I may be too tired from work. So
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
so we recorded in a Sunday. So that's really interesting, and yeah, thanks for sharing that, because I do feel like at the very beginning of this journey, I would say it took me time to just get into the groove. Meaning to say, just
Hmm.
get to the point wherein my brain is understanding, like a certain hour of the night, I have to sit down my computer and start building and start thinking through. And that's really a battle between me and myself.
Hmm.
Really like just trying to just understand that what are the barriers from me to just actually go there. And one of the things, and let me share something. I forgot where I heard this, but I was listening to an audiobook. I forgot now
Hmm.
what's the title. The idea is, if you feel resistant to do something, just give yourself 5 minutes, right? Mean to say, you tell yourself, let me do this. I'm only gonna do this 5 minutes anyway.
5 minutes.
Right. So sometimes it's too
Yeah.
tiring. You're too tired, and then you just think yourself like, oh, let me just get into Lovable. Let me just get into Replit and just work
Mm.
for 5 minutes, and then I'm done. And
Yeah.
honestly, it does help me just get yourself started. I would actually end up like
Mm.
working for an hour or so on the project, because that actually helped me deal with the resistance at the same
Hmm.
time, get into the creative mode, because yeah, the technical side is there, but now because
Hmm.
of the creative side is more active. Like, you're thinking about not just the functionality, but you're also thinking about, like, how do we actually market this? How do you actually get more
Hmm.
users? So those are, to
Yep.
me, those are really quite important questions.
If there's one thing that you kind of learn in terms of time and energy management, what would that be? For me, I kind of like the one you shared. Like, okay, I should try to start doing that. Like, just say, okay, I'll just give this 5 minutes, and I'll probably start using that trick because I know that once you push yourself to do it, dopamine starts.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
start getting dopamine, and then you end up spending more time working.
Yeah. I remember trying that just few weeks ago, and I realized, like, you know what? It's after I sit down there for like 5 minutes, somehow my brain adjusts to it and say, you know what, let's finish it. Like, and I end up like building, a good chunk
Mm-hmm.
of work that's needed. What other
Mm-hmm.
technique that I have? I would say that what I did was just I did a brain dump. A brain dump is really just if you have a blank sheet of paper, just write down like everything that you can think of, like everything that
Mm-hmm.
occurs in your mind. And I got this from a guy um who wrote there's a productivity book called Get Things Done, and then brain dump. That's what I've gotten it from, like just putting it out there. I did that last
Mm-hmm.
Thursday. You should do it actually as often as you can. If you want to do it daily, you do it daily, because those like small concerns in your mind, especially as a family man, you're thinking about
Mm-hmm.
your family, you're thinking about your career, you're thinking about this project, you're thinking about launching a business, your dreams, aspirations, and hope. They're just like floating
Mm-hmm.
there in your mind. It takes away your energy, takes away your creativity as well. So that to me
Mm-hmm.
helped. Honestly, I would say my schedule right now is not like the best. I have felt like I'm so much more to learn. I'm so much more to learn on how
Mm-hmm.
to manage my life. And I told you, Gid, before we started the show, what I did was I actually went to ChatGPT and placed my brain dump on ChatGPT. And at the same time, I told ChatGPT, this is my life. Like, these are the requirements of my life. Like, one is I have a 9 to 5. Two, I have 3 kids.
Mm-hmm.
I have so many things. Like, I've recently moved here in Vancouver, and just the adjustment, just moving here, different culture, different people, away from your relatives and family who supports you, like in the Philippines. And ChatGPT basically is saying, you know what, we cannot structure. You don't have a calendar that can manage this. And what it
Mm-hmm.
suggests, and I haven't really done this, but I want to share to you what it suggested. It suggested that every single day you set up three things, three priorities for the day, and that's it. And get
Mm-hmm.
those done, and then forget everything else. I don't know yet if I will do that, but it's a good suggestion. My plan is
Mm-hmm.
to the first 33 things in my life and start knocking them down. But yeah, I'm not like 100% there for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Same for me. As I said, it's more for me the energy, and I really love that you share that trick. So I'll probably start doing it because for me, but like normally after end of work, already like tired, and what I did in the past is I always like wait for myself to get that that spark, and then once I get that, then I work. Sometimes I drink energy drink or coffee just to wake me up and get going. But yeah, using
Or
that
or
5 minute
or
trick,
walking, or
I'll test that out.
actually walking for like 30 minutes really helps. I just
Hmm.
happen to, sometimes if just because I'm taking the SkyTrain to the office, right, and
Okay.
back. And sometimes the bus won't be there. I usually
Hmm.
walk for like 22 minutes, and I just take it. So I would have headphone off so that I can be alone with my thoughts and allow my mind to
Hmm.
just run while I'm walking. Also like it's just me trying to see like what are the concerns in my head, because sometimes when you're mobile, right, when you're walking, your mind is like
Hmm.
producing and not producing, but it's showing you what's its concern are, what's
Hmm.
trying to tell you like, hey, address this. And so to me, I'm just like watching those in my hand. I'm like, okay, I need to address that. Yeah, sometimes I look
Hmm.
really like I'm just talking to myself, like I'm crossing the bridge, or just walking.
Mhm.
Just talking to myself like, okay, that, and so taking note of that, and then once I get home, obviously I decompress, and and then after about 8 o'clock in the evening, I'll start to work from 8 to 9. Yeah. So, but you know what? Like I said, I'm not there 100%. I want to be like so efficient, kid. Like once you're
Mhm.
out from the office, like you switch right away. No, I'm not yet there. I don't know if this process that you and I are going through would shift us there, or we'll find a better way of life. So maybe about episode
Mhm.
6 or episode 8, we come back to these questions and look back. Did we change? Did this journey change us? Right?
Yeah. One thing that's popped up just now is I think having someone like for me, I have you as like a partner. It kind of also helped a lot. Like just I, I'm being accountable to you, and you know, it's kind of one of the things that helped me. Okay, I should start working on this because you know, it's compared to when I was just doing it for myself, like I can have all the excuse, okay, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it next week.
Right.
But since you have someone you're accountable to, and then another thing is also the support of my wife. Like she knows that we're doing this, and without her support, I'm also not, you know, don't have that motivation to go on. And yeah, because I personally I've done so many projects like unfinished projects in the past, and but like her encouragement say, okay, you've already done so many things, and but it's good that you never stop, you still keep on building things.
Yeah.
And I think it's different this time because I have you as a partner, and I'm like just
There's a
have this
level of
positive
pressure.
expectation.
Yeah, there's a level of pressure of like, yeah, it's just not me.
Not a bad pressure, but a good pressure.
We all need that. You know what? I always tell myself, like, I do feel the same wherein, like, I'm a starter and I'm a builder, right? And I think that's something that you and I have in common. But one of the things I always like tell myself is that, like, I'm a really good finisher. Now, whether
Mhm,
that is true in the past or not, or that's true in the present, I always confess that to myself. I always say to myself,
mhm,
and my wife knows this. I'm pretty sure my wife thinks differently, or I don't know, hopefully the same. But I always tell myself like, yeah, we're like I'm a good finisher. Like I'm always following through. I'm always
mhm,
like that's just the kind of a mantra in my head. Like, that's what I am. Like, and I kind of attack it at an identity level so that
mhm,
I will have the energy to like get off my butt sometimes and like just
mhm,
get going.
mhm,
But you're right, like it does help for me, yeah, not just because I'm accountable to you, because I told you, hey, we're gonna build something called Growth Mafia TV, and we're
yeah,
gonna record every single week.
mhm,
And so, just that commitment in my head that it has
mhm,
to happen. I need to be able to sit here and say, I made progress and
mhm,
the needle has moved, right? We're building
yeah,
something that changed things. So yeah, I think it does help. So I would say if you're
and
watching this, right? Sorry, just one more thing, guys. If you're watching this, I think it does help. Like I hope you pick that up because sometimes if you need some if you're the type and I am this guy, or I'd like to believe I'm no longer this guy, but I used to like
mhm,
start this and then stop and then it falls off the wagon. Uh, and it's always good to come back, right? Like, and you know what? In that thought, it's not wrong to abandon things. We just said we
mhm,
abandoned this idea. It's not
mhm,
bad to abandon that, right? But it's always good to come back and say, you know what? I want to go back to the game. I want to try this again. I want to build stuff again. But it does help having like
mhm,
outside the community aspect of what we're doing. Like you and I were building this. We're building
mhm,
Growth TV, and we're building like other people who want to join us in the mafia and join us in the movement that we're doing where people are building stuff and using AI, or even if you're not using AI, if you're an entrepreneur, right?
mhm, yeah. One realization also that I had recently is that back last year I quit my job and was with the goal of like doing entrepreneurship, but I ended up doing day trading, and it made me realize that that when I was doing day trading, when I'm in profit, I get so high. But when I have a losing day, I get so down. So it's kind of your emotion is driven by the, and then it's hard to master it, like, to trade and not getting affected. But then I realized that, hey, trading has been like, consuming most of my energy and my mental energy. And for most of the time, it's not, I don't feel that, productive. I'm not saying that, trading is bad or anything. I still want to trade, but when I compared it and when we started working on projects, it's different. Even though we haven't launched yet or we stopped this initial thing, but while you're building it, you have this sense of you're being productive and you're building something that may be of value to someone else. And yeah, so the reason I share that is probably there are things in your life that, that's like draining your energy and not really, you know, creating value. So probably time to like, simplify your life and pick the
Get
things
away
that
from.
really drive you. And, you know, even if you fail, but you still learn things and you grow and you build something. Yeah.
Absolutely. Get out of the, get out of those things, whatever, or people that like actually drains your energy. And a lot of this,
Mm-hmm.
I was just watching one. I was browsing the reels. Obviously should not do that often, but I've watched one reel wherein it was always like triggering. It's always like it triggers me, and like it
Uh-huh.
the emotional aspect of
Mm-hmm.
me, my being. And so and then I realized one thing. I said, like, this is so toxic. It's so
Mm-hmm.
toxic that it calls on me to just participate and comment on it. And to me,
Mm-hmm.
it's I have to recognize that, like, I still have a business to build. I still am working on some. This is really really good. Like, I'm really really thinking about
Yeah,
what we're
I can
doing.
relate to that.
And I said to myself, I need to put my energy there and not here.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to choose my battles because I cannot just fight
Mm-hmm.
any battles. And I have another thing
Yeah.
that I need to work on. Yeah. So I just
Mm-hmm.
really like having that perspective and because we're doing something and I'm like, we're building something here. I'm like, yeah, my energy needs to go there. Like it affects my
Mm-hmm.
creativity. I should just move area of focus.
Yeah. Good, good. I'm prone to that as well. Like, you start one reel and you just, you get hooked. Yeah. And then you end up like spending hours and not producing anything.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Where did the waste time? Where did you think we wasted time in the first two episodes, and what can we avoid next time?
I could say for me, in terms of building the app, I would say I wasted some time on little things, and I don't know if I feel like it's those little things add up, and probably it's kind of instead of like shipping and launching, you already have something that's like working, and then you get so focused on the small things and, oh, make this adjustment, I must do this, and then you ended up not launching. So I don't know. How about you?
Yeah, I would say there are definitely like wasted time, primarily because and a really recent realization, right? It's because I have not written down what the aspect of the business that needs to be established, right? So there's just in my head, the building is an
Mhm,
exciting component to what we're doing, but there's also a sales and marketing component to it, right? And I think
mhm,
we haven't really touched so much of that.
yeah,
It's also like talking to the customer and the validation component to it that we haven't really worked on. Yes, we're excited about the build. We're just so excited because you and I were coming from like both tech background. We're excited about
mhm,
that. But also like maybe part of what's going on in the back of my head is like, okay, like what about sales? What about marketing? What about like putting the social? I mean, a lot of these
mhm,
things need to be, I think a lot of these things need to be written down and it's for you and I to kind of discuss. And so this is one of the things that I've realized, like, because I have not written down the different activities that needs to go into this, a lot of it's is all build and
mhm,
maybe in terms of waste, like waste energy, because I always think about like, yeah, we haven't done this, we haven't done this. Always
mhm,
like a constant ring in my ear of like what needs to happen.
mhm.
I don't know if I've answered that question really or or I'm talking about the solution already. Because right
Mm-hmm.
now, what I think needs to happen is for you and me to sit down and say, hey, like on the social media aspect, this is what this needs to happen. On the sales and marketing needs to happen. On the validation aspect, this needs to happen, right? Because if we have that view, we can also make tweaks. And I realized this quite recently when I started working on the credit system for the AI coach, right? I started working on that and realized like, yeah, if I would have defined like how the customer will come in, what it looks like for the customer to come in. How is it called like the the flow, right? So once they sign in, what will happen next? How do we actually make money, collect money, and things like that? Like that should be baked
Mm-hmm.
into the app. Yeah. So a
Mm-hmm.
lot of there are, I couldn't quite say, oh, we wasted this, but I could say, yeah, we wasted the opportunity to also work on the social media aspect of it, like building things up.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing I think that where there's waste is that it's just inherent to what we're doing, because we're not only launching two AI apps, we're also launching
Mm-hmm.
Mafia, which is in itself is its own beasts, right? It's a beast in itself.
Mm-hmm.
Growth Mafia, the social media aspect, that is its own thing, but it's
Mm-hmm.
needed. One is to keep you and I accountable to build
Mm-hmm.
the fill my chair and revenue mentor, right? And then so all these things will like basically like riding on like connecting to each other, but by the
Mm-hmm.
end of the day, it still needs to be built. Like the website needs to be built, the social media needs to be built, right? So how do we correct that? One is like obviously we need to step back and plan, and this is exactly why we recorded this episode, right? So just kind of
Mm-hmm.
really like think of it as a retrospective session, a
Yeah.
longer one, a real long retrospective session, you and me. But yeah, and I think that's one. And then the other thing is understanding that like a lot of these things that we do is quite complicated in a sense, not on a technical sense, but in a sense that how do we actually weave this in with our lives, because we already
Mm-hmm.
have things to do already, and then we're adding another layer of things that needs to be done. Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
quite complicated answer to to your question, but I hope yeah, that answers it.
Yeah. So I think the question now is probably we can ask AI. But do you have any like can we use any tools uh that will help us, have like a see a picture of what are the priorities, right? And then kind of, yeah, like in my work, we have the Jira and Kanban boards, things like that. But how can we like have, sometimes, especially for me, like you get too busy with family and work, like you forget things and you do things that probably not really that of a priority. And so
Yeah,
I'm
we
just thinking of
hire
how
a
can
VA.
we, are there tools that we can use?
This is not a tool, but we really have to hire a VA. I think we can generate
Mm-hmm.
ideas from ChatGPT and really
Mm-hmm.
identify what needs to be delivered. But by the end of the
Mm-hmm.
day, like AI will not build a social media account for you and upload stuff for you and think about like, I mean, it can generate content, I mean, a content plan and perhaps a little bit of content. But by the end of the day, someone
Mm-hmm.
has to be uploading that. I can do it, you can do it, but obviously that's not the best use of our time. So I feel like we really need like another person here who's just like,
Mm-hmm.
we built, like you and I, we can build a website for Growth Mafia and 10x Salon. Like within the
Mm-hmm.
day, we're able to launch that, right? But then along with the website would be our TikTok account, our Instagram account, our Facebook account, our LinkedIn account, and
LinkedIn.
all these things. And then, yeah, we just need to have someone do that. And then where maybe we may have like a folder in Google Drive where we drop all these things. Like I think about
Mm-hmm.
this and we just drop all these things and that person will just pick it up,
Mm-hmm.
populate it, and then talk to and then the other thing is also who can help us with the validation aspect of it. Because obviously like I can go to like Facebook and Instagram and DM the
Mm-hmm.
people that I think can benefit for this, but then that takes a lot of time and
Yeah.
energy, and it's not creative work. It's but I don't know, that's my thought.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you on that, and yeah, especially like it's not something that is your strength, right? And it's you'd rather have someone else do that, like
And
the
yeah, and this is also a lesson in business.
outreach and social media management.
Yeah, and the lesson in business is here is this. One of the things that I realized in the past, and this is quite simple, right? Focus on the things that only you can do and delegate everything else. And so
Mm-hmm,
to me, the branding, showing up here and building, I think we can do that. Obviously, other people can do it as well, but I think it's for you, it's both beneficial for us to actually build this thing ourselves, right? So
mm-hmm,
but in terms of like posting and things like that, I think, or maybe there should be an app out there that can do it. I mean, can
mm-hmm,
post across the social media sphere. Um,
mm-hmm,
then someone can have to be like building the relationship with our potential partners, right? And we obviously we have to go out there and you know get ourselves out there and talk to other founders and so on and so forth. But
mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean, someone can help us augment that effort.
I agree. So, what's our next top priority? Because I was working earlier yesterday on the offer page and connecting it with the resend and making sure that when the user enters his her details and then submit the contact information, it sends an email and the email is showing there, okay, this is what you're producing and this is how much you could save.
Yeah.
So I
Are
kind
you
of feel
talking
that
are you
it's
talking about Fill My
the film
Chair?
matter.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's already we can launch it. So
Perfect.
yeah, I think.
Yeah, we still have to build a 10x Salon website. We still have to build a Growth
Mhm,
Mafia website. Yeah, there's just a bunch of things that I think we need to do. I think I need to write things down. You need to write it down. We can have a look at it together and we can decide which one can we delegate and which one we'll do ourselves, right?
mhm,
I think that's really the improvement to the next for
mhm.
the next sprint that we're gonna have. All right. So okay. Well, I think this is very helpful, right?
I hope I hope you got something.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. Okay. Right. So let's go through the next question here where it says, what's the biggest bottleneck question? This question right here where it says, what's the biggest bottleneck right now in launching Fill My Share or Revenue Coach?
What's the
Like
biggest
answer.
bottleneck? Yeah. I'm thinking. You have something? Probably.
Yeah. Launching right now, I would say the bottleneck right now would be our demo. Like I think we talked about this in the previous episode that where you and me
Mm-hmm,
will provide a demo because that's quite I think that's the important part of it. The other bottleneck, and I wouldn't say which one's the I don't know which one's the biggest here, but the other bottleneck would be just the 10x salon, like just to make sure that everything is in place.
mm-hmm,
Like the 10x salon, when they go there, they will be educated on like our program, the two tools that we
mm-hmm,
are offering to for them to use, and then if they go to Growth Mafia the TV, they'll find like these episodes that we've recorded and or just maybe a video from both of us, Gid, wherein we're like, hey, this is Growth Mafia the TV and what it's all about. And then, all our
mm-hmm,
channel. Maybe this is a simple thing. I mean, I'm just talking on my feet here in terms of like what needs to show up. But those two
mm-hmm,
things are quite critical because before we start advertising, when I say advertising, just really putting a simple post out there, just within my network and your network. So I'm already thinking like just within my network, there's really a bunch of people um, who are who are gonna be excited to share this. And
mm-hmm.
then in LinkedIn, I'm not sure yet because I'm not really good in LinkedIn, but I think if we're gonna sort of stream our demo and one of the episodes, I think it will get some traction. I
Okay.
think LinkedIn's gonna like us, primarily because of our topic, and and I think there's a lot of people who are building in AI in that space. So I'm quite excited about that
Mm-hmm.
actually. Yeah. So those two things are the bottlenecks. Well, that's what I think. If we work on that, then I think green means
Okay.
go.
Okay. So we already have Fill My Chair ready, and then we have a revenue coach. We'll just need to wire the the subdomain there. Probably I can work on the 10x Salon site to get the two apps there. Yeah, should I'm anticipate and I'm expecting Lovable should
Yeah. So
be able to do it in
that
minutes.
I can work on Growth Mafia TV, and
Hmm.
then the next step would be probably hiring a VA to create our social media,
Hmm.
update it, connect it, and then we can connect it back to Growth Mafia TV, and then what else? Yeah, so you should.
I'll record the demo for Fill My Chair,
Yeah,
like that we can use
you can do the
for
demo,
the
and I can
social
do.
post.
We should just both do as many demos as we can, and then we can just see
Hmm.
what's gonna happen. We don't really know like what's gonna happen, right? So might as well
Hmm.
just take a shot. Take a shot at it. Okay. Uh right. So let's look at Growth Mafia. What are we planning to do? Because now we're in episode number 3. We're going to episode number 4. What do you think? What's your outlook, Gideon, on like the next few episodes? What do you think it would look like?
Good question. I'm thinking future episode probably will have like, I don't know, we can have an episode where we build an app live, let's say, using Lovable, or we'll do it live and record it so that, to or kind of to show our audience, this is how you can do it. You can have an app in 30 minutes or so.
Yeah.
That's
You know what
one.
I'm thinking that we can do there would be the finance app.
Hmm.
You
That's
know why?
interesting.
Yeah, you know why? Because when we launch that, right, and we can just use like a snippets of that episode. I already described this to one person, and
Hmm.
she said, like, I really need that in my life. So she said, yeah, I said like imagine because I showed her the 10x revenue mentor and I didn't the finance app. I just showed her the revenue mentor and she said, "Can I use that?" And I put in all my credit card statements, all my bank statement. I
Hmm.
will tell me what do I need to do with my finances. And I
Hmm.
told, you know what? I'm actually gonna build something like that. And she said, like, I need that in my life. So we already have sort of a validation there. And it's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
like me presenting. I just showed something
Hmm.
and it connected to them like, hey, yeah, I'm not the target market for revenue mentor, but I do have my own, personal finance to manage, right? And I do want
Hmm.
to improve there. Imagine like it will go through your credit
10x
cards,
yourself.
right? It will go through your credit card statement. It will go to your bank statement. I will just create
Hmm.
this like connection, like you know what? You spend so much time on shampoo or something, whatever, right? And so, yeah, and then it would give you like it will generate to you like the different suggestions on how to like tweak it.
Hmm.
And the next month, it will ask you for your next credit card statement. We'll just
Hmm.
put in there. We'll just have the knowledge and if you improve or not, right? That's
Yeah,
great.
yeah, something like, hey, you're paying this much of interest, and then if you could find some way to,
Reduce.
reduce that, and then you can save, or you can increase your cash flow, things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really
So
helpful.
it will ask for
Or it
your
will say, okay, if you do this consistently, you'll be out of debt in a year, in two
yeah.
years, in 3 years, something like
Yeah.
that.
And then yeah, and then asset wise, you can plug in your asset. It can plug in your. It will basically have a knowledge about maybe even deeper than how you know yourself because how you
Hmm.
spend like tells so much more about you. And I'm quite excited about it. We can do a live build for that, not live, but recorded build for that one because
Hmm.
really learned so much while we were building the revenue mentor or revenue coach. Really learned so much about just the UI, just the UX aspect of it because I know for a fact that AI can do this, but I needed a really custom solution for me. Like I cannot just give it like bits and pieces. It has to be this one system where I can just give it consistently all the information. It will break it down for me. It will tell me like exactly like what are the facts financially, right? What are the facts financially? Then you can change it. So yeah, definitely we can build something like that. I'm excited that I'm with you with that. And nothing to add with like the next live build is definitely the way to go.
Hmm.
We're we're gonna wrap up in quite a bit, but before we're gonna do that, maybe I can ask, or you and I can talk about just the mind shift that you personally experienced while doing the 2 sprints so far, and then we can just wrap up the show with that.
Good. You want to start?
Oh, you want me to start?
I'm
Okay.
I'm kind of a thinker type, so I have to think through.
I get that. I get that. So I think out loud. All right. Or I can think out loud. Okay, so mindset shift. I personally experienced while building this. All right. So here's what happened. Episode 1 or before episode 1 started, Gideon and I we started talking about 10x Salon. Gideon said, "I'm going to build a booking system." And in my mind, I should be building a booking system because I want to improve technically, right? Cuz Gideon is like so much knowledgeable with this, built so many things already. I built things, but I didn't actually had it. I always, as a project manager, as a business analyst, as a project owner, I don't feel like I built it. You know what I mean? Like you finish a
Mhm,
project, but I didn't feel like, yeah, I built it. And sometimes like it even comes out during interviews, like, because like, oh, I'm just a project manager in this thing. I just didn't feel like I would say I own it in a sense, but I did not really physically build it. Like it's like so part of this is like I want to one of my motives was like I want to build something. Anyway, Gideon built the back end. I continuously build the front end. In terms of on the funnel side, I love building funnels, but I've tons of experience building funnels, right? And so it's like, oh, here we go again. I'm gonna build funnels, and then Gideon's gonna do the fun stuff, right? So, well, building
yeah.
funnels. So one of the mindset that I would like to change for myself was like, I want to show to me that I can actually build the whole thing and or not
Mhm,
just build, but I can start and then actually continuously like push like the more technical side if you have that. And so when we had our revenue coach, I purposely like focus and work on it because I want to prove to myself that it can be done. Well, not it can be done, but I can do it.
mhm,
I know, Gid, that you can do it, right? There's no question about that. But just really for me to like remove like
mhm,
this doubt in myself that I have the capacity to do it. And so that's what I did. I just like grinded it out for like hours and hours, actually multiple days to build that. The reason why it multiple days is because I have a lot of change of mind while going through it, the requirements. And to me, the mindset shift was like,
mhm,
yeah, it can be done. And it did increase my confidence. So when I started presenting Fill My Chair, the booking system, and the revenue coach to other people, I gained so much confidence because I know, like, yeah, the revenue
mhm,
coach, and I would say, yeah, see, it's very, it's very impressive, and it can respond to your chats, right? I know for a
mhm,
fact that I've handled it, and I can say, like, you know what, I actually built that. So that really fueled me and it made me realize like, hey, if I can build a revenue coach for hairstylists, I can build a revenue coach for like other businesses, and I can build a finance coach for a person, anyone. So yeah, that's the long answer to this question. All right, hopefully that give you enough time again to
okay.
think through.
Yeah. So think for me, it's more about because before in the past, I'm kind of like a perfectionist. When I start something, I have to, okay, what tech stack do I use? Okay, I'll use React. And then what I'll do is, okay, I don't know React, so I have to learn React first. So I bought the course, learned React. And then by the time I know React, I lose the motivation to build the app. So it's kind of the thing where in you feel the need to know everything first, and then so the mind shift is you don't need to learn everything. You learn as you go, and yeah, and that's what I've experienced when we started, right? Like we started this salon page creation, and then we had a silence for weeks, and then we started, oh, let's do fill my chair, and then as we do fill my chair, an idea pop up to you. How about we also add to fill my chair, add this expert revenue coach using AI. And since the start, I've learned a lot from using AI and what's it's capable of, and I've learned also things for myself, like, hey, I have to be efficient in managing my time and my energy, and in order for us to really deliver and be successful in what we're doing here.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Good stuff. Okay, so this is the last. That was the second to the last question. This is the last and final question. Is there anything that you're proud of so far? And then that's gonna be it, guys. Let's get it. You like to start
Yeah,
this time?
yeah, I'll start this time. Yeah, so when I was working with the offer page, right, it was you who did it. But when I see how it works, like it's my first time, okay, enter the details, and then when I see the calculation and the flow, it's like, wow, this is like really, really, really good, and I feel proud of what you did, how the upper page, how what's the term, how the UX and the details, and it's kind of, if I envision myself as the hairstylist, I kind of felt like, hey, I need to have this app,
Yeah.
and maybe realize I'm missing revenue because just the lack of knowledge of these tools, right, that are available.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a really good insight there. And yeah, it's something that we should be proud of. Just really finishing 2 apps and 2 sprints. And then
Mm-hmm.
that's a lot. That's again, it's on top of what's already going on in your life so far, right? And what's all going on in my
Mm-hmm.
life. I know you're busy with your kids. Kid, not kids. Is it kids?
Kids too.
2.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. I didn't even know. I thought you have 1 child. Anyway, you're busy with your kids, then you have a career, you're a career person, you're a business person. So there's just so many things I know is going on. I'm pretty sure you've gone through a lot of men, mental growth as well, and just the
Mm-hmm.
process in terms of like how to not just managing your energy, but like how to get yourself into like work mode, and just be a star
Mm-hmm.
while you're building. So I'm pretty sure, and then that's something both of us should be proud of ourselves, just being able to handle this. To me, I'm really proud of the fact that this is something that I've been wanting to do for a long time, and
Mm-hmm.
finally we did it. Like finally we built something. This has been going on in my head probably since 3 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just glad like we're able to have 2 apps that we can show, that I can actually show to my friends like initially, and just tell them, hey, this is
Mm-hmm.
what's going. One of my friends actually said like, did you build this or you have someone build this for you? So that's quite interesting. And I said like, yes, we did like build it. We didn't hire anyone, right? So like, wow, really so cool.
Did you tell him the secret?
Oh yeah, of course.
Like,
Yeah. But that's the
okay.
thing, right? Anyway, I'd like to give time now for people who are, a little bit older than me, like people under 40s. That's okay. Also, who wants to build something like what we're doing. I'd like to kind of encourage you guys. Sometimes if maybe if you're in your 40s or in your 50s, and you might be thinking that it's already too late.
Like,
I'm too old for this. I'm just gonna say it's not too late. You can definitely do something. There's AI that you can just give yourself 5 minutes with it, right? And just build something. I just like to encourage you that it's not too late. It does help to say, you know what? If you're 45, right? And let's just say you live up to 100, right? You're barely 50% there, right?
mhm,
You're barely there. If you live at 120, right? You're essentially like a teenager, and so you do have time, and there's definitely something that you can do even when you're like you're old or you feel old. Like no one's old. Like you can be old in your
mhm,
mind, all right? Yeah, I'm in. To me, you can definitely start something, and even if you're busy, you can still carve an hour, 2 hours per week and sit down and build something that you can be proud of. Okay. Again,
yeah.
yeah,
And one tip as well is, if you have an idea, start using AI. Brainstorm with ChatGPT, whichever you're using, and then tell it, okay, I have this idea, and then you brainstorm and see what you'll discover, and it also helps like give you that motivation, because the AI would tell you, okay, for this you have to do this. This is what you need. And you
absolutely.
can do it while on your free time, because it's just on your phone, and you can start brainstorming the idea, and then let ChatGPT, okay, what's the plan? I want to do this. Then it will suggest you a plan, step of actions you can follow.
Right.
That's it.
So yeah, one thing about free time though, because it's a trap thinking, right? I'm gonna do this on my free time. You're gonna have to
Mm-hmm.
do it part time. And when I say part time, you're gonna have to
Okay.
do it and make it part of your time, not just like I have extra here. It has to be part time, and it
Mm-hmm.
has to be part of your day and say, you know what, this
Mhm.
day I'm working on this part time because this is part of my
Yeah.
time, right?
Yeah. So that's good. Yeah. That's what I actually meant. Like when you're having lunch break while you're eating,
Yeah.
you start brainstorming. Yeah.
Right. Oh man, like while I'm on the train, I would just bring up my chat GPT and I would just type in like different ideas and like this. And I would like, what are the different, like, for example, while I'm building the credit system, I was like, what would be a good credit like pricing and in how many points and make sure that we don't actually, we're making money, right? Yeah. Anyway, um, so awesome to finally, just have a little bit of talk with like what's going on,
Mhm.
just so important to do a little bit of retrospective, after doing like multiple things. And then obviously there's so much work, more work to do, but we will never run out of work. And so this is the reason why we do this thing of an episode called What We Learned So Far, just for as a level of retrospective, but also as a way for you, the audience, the people who are listening, the people who are watching, to
Mhm.
one, get to know us a little bit, but also see how we actually what's going on in our how the wheels are turning and the why also of what we're doing. And I hope you get excited because I'm excited. I'm sure Gideon is excited. Like we are excited to not just what
Yeah.
we're doing, but we're excited for you. So if you have projects that you want to share, wherever video that you've seen, yeah, wherever you're watching this video, you can just comment below and talk a little bit about it. And we're there. We're just gonna jump into the comment section and just really thank you and talk to you, and we want to meet you. All right. Any
Mhm.
final words, Gid, before we wrap things up?
I would say if you have an idea, just do it.
All right.
Have
Yeah.
a
So
bias for doing
you bias for action, right? Absolutely. All
bias for
right.
action. Yeah, that's the word.
Right. Awesome. Thank you so much, Gid. Guys, I hope you love this episode. So thank you so much for watching this episode. I am so excited of what we're doing. I hope you're as excited as we are. And don't forget to click like and subscribe and comment in the comment section. Comments especially because we would like to engage you in the most effective way. All right. So again, this is Joe and Gid. I would like to tell Gideon, Joe, and Gideon, I'd like to say, see you in the next build. Bye for now.
All right.